Where can they find? Like, I know there's a couple of clothing brands that you don't you enjoy that? We're all individuals, but so there's a couple of clothing brands that you occasionally tweet out. Like, you want to talk about those here? While
yeah. Actually, Play Dead Cult.
Mm-hmm.
And I became fast friends with the people who run it, Stu and Bean, and they're the definition of independent artist collective. They're a little goth. All the artwork is original. They take found items and like play deadify them.
Nice.
So yeah, you can find them online, Play Dead Cult. And what else? My aunt made me this amazing treasure necklace that I wear on the show at some point. I don't remember which episode because we shot like all of our episodes out of order this season, just for various scheduling reasons. And I didn't realize until they started airing how completely confusing that is. I was like, wait a second. The crossover with Eureka came before I went out in the field? I have no idea what's happening right now. But yeah.
It must be hard, too, because I'm guessing from where we are now that Claudia's relationship with Todd is sort of on again, off again. So it must be hard to remember which way you are.
Yeah, seriously. You've not seen the last of him. We shot Around the Bend and For the Team, which is coming up on Tuesday, before 13.1, the Eureka crossover, and I remember shooting Around the Bend, and I had that line about how Todd dumped me, and I was shooting it, and I went, wait a minute, what? Hold on. The last thing we shot, okay, I'm confused. So
it's interesting the way they do that. I think Warehouse 13 is one of the more efficient shows that I've ever seen. Like, you guys are super done with primary photography right now, and you're only 5 episodes into airing, so that's pretty amazing.
It's true, but we do that because there are a lot of effects, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I also found out the hard way that I can't wear that famous green streak in my hair. I can wear any other color, but when we're doing special effects shots, they've got to rotor around.
Chroma key out. Right?
Exactly.
You have a big empty spot.
Exactly. So Claudia can't have a hole in her head.
And all the kids will be rocking that. Which reminds me, one more thing, because I just saw the other side of the Eureka crossover, which we will talk about.
Of course.
But you do a lot of sort of emoting to like what is obviously post-effects CG, where it's like, all right, that side of the room, wackiness is happening.
Yes, sir.
Is that hard? God, this is talk about questions asked to every actor on the planet nowadays.
It's all
but is
good.
It hard to motivate?
It depends. We on our show like to call it schmacting, like acting schmacting. But before that, I was calling it extreme acting because I did this little web series with Rosario Dawson where every single element was green screen. That was weird. None of us really knew what we were doing. But is it hard to motivate? Yes and no. If it's really extreme, then yeah, you have to make yourself available to using the imagination you used as a kid. Like What kind of play pretend did you go for, Seth?
This may actually be really embarrassing. I'm from Maine, as we discovered, and I lived like a couple of miles away from even the city that I was in, and my father, who, like every Mainer owns like a little itty-bitty sailboat, would build a structure over it in the winter to keep snow off it, and literally my favorite toys were the pieces of wood used in that construction when they weren't on the boat. So, and I was a huge... Aliens was the first thing I really geeked out about. Like, I love the Aliens movies. So, cut to me with the same size head, mind you, but as a small boy, running around with, like, a board that is like that sort of taped-together weapon that Ripley makes. And, like, that was my number one toy. And I literally, I don't think I can think of a single thing I enjoyed more than that. I think my imagination has been going like crazy since then. I'm a completist. If I'm going to go for a character, I'm going to commit to it.
You commit.
Yeah. I kidnapped somebody's kid. It was great. So I saw you at Comic-Con, and you were like, all right, I'm going now to try and find Tim Seeley to get my omnibus sign, which we talked about. That was like really awesome and beat up and cool. And then, like, Tim was calling me from every location he was in, and he couldn't get to you. And I just got the impression that you entered Comic-Con and then couldn't move 5 feet until, like, the floor closed. And, was it hard to have fans at Comic-Con?
You know what? It wasn't. I was worried that it might be, but it wasn't. The one time I got to go down to the floor, first of all, I bought a tiny little piece of stuffed bacon for one of our writers who's obsessed with bacon. Mm-hmm. I tried on a leather corset at this amazing... I don't even remember the name of the booth, but they were fans of the show, and I was like, all right, maybe I need to bring a corset home. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's like a vice grip on your lower ribs. But that was fun.
You know what she's talking about, don't you, Zach?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You get another character I was cosplaying as a kid.
Uh-huh.
But, I didn't really have any problems on the floor. I did search for Tim, but I couldn't quite connect with him.
I could hardly move there, and no one knows who the hell I am.
It's very confusing down there, but cool. I mean, this was only my second Comic-Con, but it was so vastly different from my first. Like, slammed with parties and interviews and then moderating the Eureka panel, of course.
Which you did a very good job at.
Thank you. It was so much fun. I want to do it next year.
It was pretty epic, and putting those two panels together was a masterstroke for Sci-Fi Channel. It worked really well for them.
Neil definitely had the harder job, like starting us off all cold and whatnot. I'm back there like hyperventilating over my water and my Cliff Bar, and he's like, "It's cool, Skags, we got this." I don't know how he stayed so calm. I mean, he was nervous. We were both nervous. We were just palpitating in the car ride over, but he killed it. And the scream of the fans is something. It's so visceral to hear a reaction like that when you step out onto a stage. All of my nerves fell away when I realized, what do I have to worry about? They're not judging. It's all love. It's all good. So
you literally could have just stood there for the entire length of it.
And like made fart noises.
The best panel ever, sort of thing.
Sure.
It was a big room, too. It was really big.
How many people were in there?
Well, I was counting, and then I don't know. It's the second largest event room they have after the famous Hall H.
Right.
Oh, by the way, hey, we can start this for Tom Frank is a guy who works with us a lot. He has his own stand-up show for geeks, and he wants to create the idea in the world of geekdom that something that's cool is Hall H. So you can be like, you're like, dude, you're blowing up. You're gonna be like so Hall H. Like that's the way it is.
Okay. Do I need to start this? Do I need to start hashtagging Hall H on Twitter?
I've already hashtagging enough through you. We're fine. But it works. It totally works. And we haven't mentioned it on the radio show yet. I think it's a brilliant idea. And it's all Hall H till somebody gets stabbed in the eye. That's my caveat.
That's
on
a
that
good
one. No, it was really big, and I was staggered by the fact that I don't know if we ever actually aired it, but like. I was, in the room, and I was like, I had to give you the shirts, I had to get there, and I'm like, all right, she's going to stop talking, and all these 400,000 people are going to rush the stage, and then, like, you could just see people in this indecision, like, should I go, will I get a chance to? And I'm like, ha-ha!
So sweet.
The one thing I have is giant balls! So, like, I ran towards the stage, and me and Scott, actually, your super fan Scott.
Mr. Scott Smith from Indiana.
Aww.
It was weird because we become friends now, and like at the time he's like, "Yeah, I was there." I'm like, "Dude, I'm shooting video, and you were in it." Like, I mean, I knew you were there, dude. I saw you, like, you popped out to give him a hug, which is so cool of you to do that for your fans.
Oh my God! I mean, it's because of this incredible response that I think the Skag for Cassie movement is working so phenomenally well, and that the show has gotten such incredible ratings. I mean, you're so removed from the distribution process as an actor. Like, we started shooting at the end of February this year. We were done at the beginning of August. We're not sitting in post watching what we've shot get manipulated. So it's really bolstering to have people embrace what we do so much. So yeah, no, I mean it's my pleasure. It's really my pleasure. I mean, and I feel lucky to have such cool fans.
It's weird to me too, like as someone who appreciates the show, the levels of which like certain things like I really appreciate. Like I love your acting and I love Claudia as a character, but I honestly could not like anything more than you and Saul's dynamic. Like,
me too.
That is so well put together.
That's hilarious.
But no, you and Saul. I mean, like we're talking because Tim and I are huge fans of like the old comedy duos. Laurel and Hardy style.
Martin
like
and Lewis,
you guys
sure.
have it. Like whatever that chemistry two characters have. And to be fair, my biggest concern for Warehouse 13 is that Bering and Latimer are a lot less watchable in comparison to the two of you. They're very watchable in comparison to other people, but it's just like I'm like, yes, they're out in the field. That's great. What are Claudia and Hardy doing?
I'm so glad you feel that way. So do I. It was like. It was lightning in a bottle with Saul. It was immediate. He's awesome. I remember the first scene we ever shot together was Claudia's first appearance on the show, where I break in and I kind of beat the shit out of him almost. And I was worried. I didn't want to handle him too roughly. Like we're brand new to the set. I don't want to overstep my boundaries. And he's like, no, seriously, see what happens if you try to push me. And he didn't budge. And I was like, okay, so I have to get rough with you then. And it was really. It was cool. I'd never felt like I was really in the bullpen with an actor before.